C. Brown, Immaculate Home Builders Contractors Pro Tip of the Week. So this is a good one, man. Obviously, I do a ton of pre-listing renovation projects, right? Which basically means I come in, I do the work up front on a project. The seller who's selling the property pays me at closing. One of the most important things that I pay attention to in these pre-listing renovations is the color of the property, right? So for my contractor's pro tip, I'm gonna tell you about 4 of the main colors that I use in the properties when I do the renovation. This is primarily because when new homeowners are buying a home, the most important thing is to make sure that the property isn't too loud. It's a very neutral looking property. So on this particular property, I painted this property gray, right? So gray is a very neutral color, and it's a medium gray. It's not too light, it's not dark at all. It's a medium gray property in here. So gray is one of the primary colors that I generally use. The second color that I use is an all white property, right? White is very clean, it's very vibrant, it's very bright. It brings a lot of an airy feeling to a property, especially if it's an open concept. So white is the color that I generally use. So the second color that I generally use is an all white color, right? So on a lot of the properties that I do, you'll see, especially one of the last properties that I just did, I did the entire property all white. What I generally do is I'll accent color the tile backsplash, the knobs, some of the doors, some of the trim in a completely different color, but I always keep it relatively neutral because, again, when home buyers are buying a property, they don't necessarily want a lot of super bright colors, neon colors, or even dark colors. Dark makes a property look really small. So obviously we had gray. White is the secondary color. I'll give you 2 more. So the third color I like to use is a tan, right? So tan goes well with everything, right? Tan and white, tan and blacks. Tan, again, is a very neutral color. I'll use a brighter tan to give the property a bright look. I'm really big on vibrancy. I love the properties to be airy, to be bright, because clients, when they come into a property, right, you want to keep them in an upbeat spirit to make an offer on the property. So you have gray, right? I have white, and then I'll always use tan as well. Now tan isn't as contemporary as your grays nor your whites, but tan works out great because it's a very neutral color. It can go with pretty much anything in the property, a hardwood floor look, a countertop, a kitchen. So tan works well. We got 1 more. And the last color is a taupe, right? So people don't really know what taupe is. Taupe is like an oatmeal color. It's a combination of a brown and a gray, but a lighter brown and gray. So taupe, light taupe that is also a great color. It's a very warm, natural, vibrant color that goes well throughout the entire property of a home. I think taupe alone is a very special color because it doesn't go with everything, right? You can't accent everything with taupe as well as you can white or gray or tan. However, I've used taupes in larger houses and it looks fantastic. So C. Brown, Contractors Pro Tip of the Week, man, those are the 4 colors that I wanted to give you that goes very well that I use in properties, and I really recommend and suggest that you may ultimately, if you're in the process of selling your home, those are the colors that you want to use. They're very neutral, they're very warm, they work very well with any other colors that you have in your property, and I guarantee you they get your property sold. C. Brown, man, Contractors Pro Tip of the Week. I'll talk to you soon.